All right, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, lovers of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform. Once again, we don't bring another news update for every Biafran, both those living in the homeland and those in diaspora. Please subscribe to this channel because this is Exposed News TV. We're doing all the exposing and all the fact, all the trending fact happening in Biafran territory. We are always bringing it back to back to you Biafrans. Now, before we, play the video we have today or join the broadcast for today, the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá gave Dave Umahi a very serious warning, a very critical warning, concerning the claim by both Dave Umahi and Hope Uzodinjo. They've been the one claiming that they that it is because of them, Dave Umahi, Hope Uzodinma, and the governors of the southeastern part of the country. That is the reason that Biafrans didn't join the protest. Hey, it is actually funny because even you listening to me, we know the reason why Biafrans didn't join that protest. We know the reason. We know the reason, the same reason that those those people who still support, the one Nigeria, who feel there is still hope in Nigeria, who deceive themselves with one Nigeria. At least they've started seeing it the other way around. These protests has actually, opened their eyes once again for them to know that truly there is nothing like one Nigeria in this contraption called, the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. You cannot continue talking about one Nigeria when the people you're claiming, to be in the same country with don't even give a damn about you or how you exist. They don't care about your people. They only care about themselves. So the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá, gave Dave Umahi a very serious warning and clarified the word. Let them know that these governors have no hand in making sure that Biafran didn't join the protest. Biafrans didn't join the protest not because they love Tinubu. They didn't join the protest because there was an order, first of all, and secondly, they have no business with Nigeria. So why would they join a protest that will better the life of the country? Every Biafran with the spirit of Biafran in him, embedded in him, currently is only concerned about the Biafran freedom. That is just the truth. If you like, argue it from now till tomorrow. That is the reality. And they are doing everything possible to bring that freedom. And that is why the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá has continued to defend his people. He has continued to do the needful for Biafrans. Meanwhile, let's enjoy this wonderful broadcast. We'll get back later after the broadcast. Enjoy.
Galvanizing. And we're at the stage of galvanizing or galvanization, if there's anything like that, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. In fact, which word am I going to use to qualify the work that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did in terms of talking and galvanizing? Bringing people together, galvanizing the minds of those who are supposed to fight for the freedom. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was traveling the whole world, visiting Biafrans, talking on Radio Biafra, he knew that the main fight had not begun. He knew, I want to repeat it again, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was aware, 1,000,000%, if there's anything like that the time for fight for freedom had not begun. Yes, because freedom has different stages. Are you paying attention? This Mazi Nnamdi Kanu si na na-abụ eluigwe zie ya ozi ezie ndị dị ndụ ọkwa ife anyị na-emekwa n'ụbọchị tata. He knew that the real fight for he knew that the freedom was not even coming that time. Whenever he tell you that Biafra is here, he is prophesying, whether he's a prophet or not. But I believe he's a prophet, even though he refused to acknowledge it. Whenever he tells you that freedom is here, Biafra is here, he was prophesying, because he knew that time that Biafra was not ready that time, because what will give us freedom had not been done. As at that time, he knew that what he was doing is to galvanize the minds of the people, those who will fight for the freedom. And when the time began to approach, the first thing he did, the first ever thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did for fight for freedom was the formation of the Eastern Security Network. That was the first thing. All those things you see him doing, traveling all over the world, raising funds, going to America, Finland, Russia, Norway, Germany, all of those things. He knew that Biafra was not ready that time. Even when he came here, when he came down to Biafra land and was arrested in Lagos State, in prison for almost 2 years, released, he was traveling everywhere, holding rallies, even though he was, criminally, restricted. Even though he was criminally restricted not to see people more than 6. That time, that through everybody, the whole Biafra was following anywhere he goes, millions of people will be there. Upon that, crowd, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still knew that Biafra was not ready. He knew what he was doing was only to bring people together for the fight that will bring the freedom. It is only fight that brings the freedom. That is the reason why I told you that sometimes I sit myself down and I say, I am happy that we are following the right channel to freedom. And I also explained to you, in case you are joining right now, that being on the, being happy or being on the path of the right channel to freedom is not all about you following Biafra Unite. It's not all about me following Mazi Simon Èkpá, because Mazi Simon Èkpá himself, the Prime Minister, is also happy that he is following the right channel, and it's not all about him following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is all about us being ready. We are now ready to fight for the freedom, because we are fighting for it. It is no longer the time of talking. It is no longer the time of galvanizing the minds of people to come and fight for freedom. We are now fighting for it, which is the right track, the right path to freedom. If you don't fight for your fight, when I say fight, not to fight with mouth, we are fighting with egbe. Aiji egbe anu ogu anyị. Aiji egbe na mgbo na ogbunigwe when anu ogu anyị. Somebody say no sound. Somebody said no sound. How can you say no sound? Please, if you can't hear my voice, let me know. If you cannot hear me, let me know, please. I don't believe that there's no sound. Can you hear my voice, please? If you can hear my voice, kindly let me know in the comment section, please. Okay. Thank you for confirming. That person who said no voice. If you are genuine, kindly refresh, go out and come in again. Only if you are genuine. But if you are not genuine, then I'm sorry, I can't help you. So now, anytime you hear people talking about freedom, whenever people are talking about freedom, and there is no fight, what I'm talking about fight, I'm talking about agha now. That is the only whenever I tell you only, there is no reservoir, there is no there is no there is no any other way to freedom in Africa. Let me also highlight that. No, in Africa, in Europe, where there is true democracy, in Èkpá, there might be another way to freedom, which is dialogue from beginning. Dialogue from beginning. But in Africa, there is no dialogue from beginning. Dialogue comes at the very end, when you have managed and finally break the hands. That is, break the hands that are strangling you. When you have finally break the hand strangulating you, then they will call for negotiation. They will call for dialogue. But from beginning, you can nobody will pay attention to you. No single person will pay attention to you. They would want to fight. The occupying soldiers, the Janjaweed soldiers, will all come at you. They will massacre you. They will finish you up. They will shoot at sight. They will do everything to pull you down, to demoralize you, to make sure that you never rise, to make sure that they put fear in the minds of any other person who wants to rise up. That is Africa for you. So therefore, there must be a fight. When I say fight, I'm not talking about no. Enweta freedom. Eji egbe jide ogbunigwe. Eji ogbunigwe anụ ọgụ nwere onwe. That's why whenever I look around and see what is happening in Biafra land, I am happy that we are following the right channel. Any other person telling you any other thing is a thief. It has to be a fact. Unless you are not ready, unless that you want to tell us that the work of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in vain. Because this is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was praying for. To bring men who will fight for the freedom of Biafra. And that is the manifestation you are seeing today. Now, let me take it as a preamble. Let us delve into this very crucial matter. Going by the title of this very live presentation, I have written, breaking, again, Nigeria government sends suicide bombers to Finland to attack the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, His Excellency Èkpá Simon Njoku. Now, as you can see on your screen, let us first of all read in details from the official and verified X handle of the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, His Excellency Èkpá Simon Njoku. He said, breaking, Nigeria terrorist state sending suicide bombers to Finland to attack Simon Èkpá as their last option, and they just departed from Abuja airport. Recall that 2 months ago, there was a news. Even earlier this year, around January, there was also a news. So this one is the latest, not old news. This is not, because we have evidence. We have evidence. Now, he continued, this is just to inform them that we are monitoring them Even from the time they dropped them at the Abuja airport to their next destination. We are waiting for you terrorists at the port of entry in Finland. Their Finland contact knows already he is in the pot of soup. On and off, and on also, in fact, we will never forgive. I remain the end of the terrorist state of the zoo. This is your 5th attempt. You are now sending terrorists to Europe, which he himself, Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa himself, had already prophesied this and warned the West to support Biafra, to support the liberation of Biafra, because the zoo called Nigeria is ready to send terrorists to Europe to destabilize Europe. You can see what is happening today. Now, he continued, if you know this man called Simon Ekpa, you will stop sleeping. You will no longer sleep. You don't have to tell them, because they know. They have done background check. I reported the news when they went to your village to look for your papa and your mama. I personally reported the news. That was 2 years ago. So they have done background check. They have done everything. They know you. Maybe even more than you know yourself. They have also done spiritual checks. They have done everything. So they know. And that's why they are not sleeping. Have you seen Musa slept? Musa is not sleeping. Did any of you watch yesterday's press briefing of the so-called security, agencies of the zoo? Did any of you? I'm throwing a question to the comment section. Did any of you watch the press release, or not press release, press briefing of the zoo Janjaweed security agents or agencies yesterday, whereby all the medias are there? If any of you watched it, did you see in any way the last moment when the so-called chief of army staff of the zoo, Lieutenant General Labaja, Labaja, I looked at myself. I was feeling pain. You know why I was feeling pain? I was feeling pain because the kind of people that occupy positions of leadership in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom are lesser than newborn babies. What I'm saying now, what I'm telling you right now, God in heaven bear me witness. I am not making it up. I am not exaggerating. What I'm telling you is pure. The people who occupy positions of leadership in the zoo are lesser humans than newly born babies. I'm talking about their brain, their composure, their modus of operandi, their ways of operation, not even professionally. I'm not talking about professionally. I'm talking about human, endeavor. These people are lesser than newly born babies. When you listen to that man who paraded himself as chief of army staff, that very man, in fact, his closing remarks yesterday proved beyond every reasonable doubt that this man is not qualified to be even a corporal. A man who cannot address the so-called nation that he claimed to be, one of the leaders. Have you taken your time and listened to that man called Opabio speak? Have you seen him speak? Have you ever seen that man speaks? That Opabio? If you take your time and listen to Opabio speaks, you will understand that this man is purely lesser than a newborn baby. You will begin to ask yourself, how did he manage? How did he manage to get to that level? Then when you get the answer that it is all about criminality and all about, I know this person, I know that person, then your level will be skyrocketing. That is the zoo for you. Nobody occupies any position by merit. Nobody, I said no single person, including the so-called Mr. President, nobody occupies any position in the zoo by merit. Look at Hope Uzodimma. Look at Soludo. They call him professor. When Soludo speaks, you will see that this man shouldn't even be an ordinary, bank manager. Sorry, I say ordinary. When I say ordinary, you remember I'm talking about the politicians who occupy, top offices in the Nigerian politics. Because a bank manager is not an ordinary job. It's not ordinary. But I'm comparing. I'm using it, for the insinuation, for the politics of the zoo. So what am I trying to say? You realize that they are nothing but senseless set of idiots who manage to, climb to a certain position because of who they know. You listen to Musa, you listen to the one they say Air Admiral Ogala, who is also an Igbo man. An Igbo man. Now got some Miri, who happens to be the Admiral's probably chief of air staff. An Igbo man. Now got some Miri. Then if you listen to the other, I can't play their video because it's very, very irritating. If you listen to the one that called himself the DSS spokesperson, Chai, an Igbo man, he has become a Fulani man. Only his dressing was irritating because he wants to please the Fulani. The DSS spokesperson, I think his name is somebody. Is it Wachuku? Is it Wachuku, the army spokesperson? No, I think his name is Wachuku or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. You see, Fana got some miracle muaka, because none of them merits any position in politics. The same thing with the so-called Mr. President. Now, let me finish it. If you know this man called Simon Èkpá, you will stop sleeping, which I have said that they know you. That's why they cannot sleep. He said, let me leave it here. It is not yet time for that. The Grandmaster, the sea can never dry. Freedom or pie. Freedom or pie. Now, he also posted this all-important evidence, which I will be asking very, very crucial question right now to the zoo for anybody who would want to, debunk it. Any zoo here, anyone Nigerianist here, please kindly come up. We can also debate. This very broadcast can turn to a debate. Yes, it is not necessarily, going to be, a straight broadcast. If I have any zoo, one Nigerianist here, please kindly, indicate in the comment section. If you are one Nigerianist, indicate in the comment section, and you are ready for a debate, please indicate in the comment section. I will give you the link immediately without any time wasting. If you are a zoo, one Nigerianist, I'm using just only about 2 minutes to give you the opportunity. Indicate in the comment section. Let me share the link to you so we can debate. Now, this is it. departed on time, LH595 Lufthansa, ABV Abuja, Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Port Harcourt, flight departure times 6 August 2024. This was yesterday. He departed yesterday en route to Finland. This is the flight route, not the flight ticket. So you don't ask me what is the name of the suicide bomber. This is the flight route. Okay? Yes, not the flight ticket. So now that the zoo has been busted again, I don't know if they're going to stop now. Remember last time they were 3. One of them managed to enter Finland and was received by their contact in Finland. And 2 were held at the neighboring country, Denmark. They were never allowed entrance to Finland because they came through United Kingdom. Right? They departed Nigeria, arrived in UK, and from UK, they started going to Finland. When you are going to Finland from UK, depending on your route, if you are flying, then you have to fly direct. If you are not flying, you are going through land. It is very easy to go from UK to Finland. Very, very easy. Because when you follow through the channel, from that channel, the next place you are going to meet yourself is in France, the northern France. From there, you enter Netherlands, Belgium, and then from there, you find yourself in Denmark. From Denmark, you can easily enter, Finland, or you can even go through Norway. And remember that these countries are very, very small countries, so it's not going to take you, long period of time to cross any of them. And that 2 of them were stopped in Denmark and they repatriated to the zoo. Then the one that managed to enter Finland picked race when he heard that other 2 have been deported back to the Zoological Republic. Okay? So we have evidence to this crime. And we are using this opportunity to let them know. Nandi Igbo si, ọkpa na-aga warawara, na anya na-aga fiam fiam na afia. Any leg that walks too fast, the eyes that see too fast is very, very sharp. Somebody said from Denmark to Sweden. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to correct me because I'm not in Europe. I'm only saying because I study, geography. So, and it's many years ago, so I can make a mistake. But my mistake will not be too large or huge. It has to be minimal. So that is it. That is it. Now, we are going to tell them another thing. The question I have for them is, should anybody come to me here and clear me from this very evidence on the screen? Don't ask me how did we get it. You don't have to ask me how did we get it, because even if you ask me, I will not tell you. Because we cannot sabotage. We cannot sabotage our source of, information. So don't bother yourself asking me, how did you get it? It doesn't matter. Can anyone tell us, why is the zoo sending terrorists to Finland and Europe at large? We have seen what is going on in United Kingdom. I don't want to talk about that. According to our barrister, Alo Ejimako, He called it karma. I don't want to go that side. Last time when I was on live broadcast, I said that I don't want to talk about Kenya. Because by the time I will talk about Kenya, I will only ask William Ruto one particular question. That question will be, what was your participation? What was your part? What was the part that you played in the illegal rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria? What was your participation when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in your country? That is the only question that I will ask Ruto, but not now. Because William Ruto was the vice president of Kenya to Uhuru Kenyatta. And the history, or should I say, information has it that the man called Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard. He drinks a lot, sleeps a lot, and William Ruto runs the affair of the country, even when he was the vice president of the country. So I don't have his time for now. Let him deal with his own issue. When that time will come, we will start asking questions. Please, if you are joining me, do the right thing, because we have more things to discuss this very evening. If you are joining me right now, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Welcome others as we move. Now, there is another video we want to play. This one is not going to take us time. It's going to take us like few minutes to dissect it, and then we will move to another segment, because we've got so much things to talk about this very evening, and I want you to stay tuned. Just keep your eyes glued to your screen, because I'll be bringing you this information one by one. Now, if you look at your screen right now, there is an information. Before showing you this video, let me quickly show you this very information very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Please, if you are here, if you live in Biafra territory, you are living in Biafra territory as a Biafran, or you have, of course, all of us have family here in Biafra land, even though you are in diaspora. Nobody is an island. No man is an island. So please, this message is for everybody. Everybody. Please, Obuko, Umunemo, we don't want to lose anybody. In this very quest for freedom, we have died enough. Enough. There's a message shared by the Prime Minister. The person was saying that during the Python dance, about over 200 Biafrans were massacred by the Zoo terrorist army, and 28, gunned down in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house. But during this Operation Udoka, which is the same thing, which we so-called Operation Python Dance, and we are now hearing the massacre of innocent Biafrans, unlike during those years, because of the work of Biafra Liberation Army. I concur. I totally agree with that, because he couldn't have said it enough. He couldn't have said it enough. He couldn't have said it better. I 100% concur. So now, but the only mistake he made, yes, there was a mistake. The only mistake he made was the numbers. The number. He said over 200. My brother, a military man who participated in that very criminality, in that crime against humanity, confirmed that actually the people that were murdered in the entire Biafra land, should I say, the place they call Southeast alone, are more than 800 people. I've said this thing before, and I'm saying it again. I said it in 2021, even 2019, not even 2021. I said it in 2019. A military man confessed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was busy counting 28 men that fell in his compound. But in every honesty, that people that actually fell during the Python dance were more than 800 Igbo youths. The man confessed. A military man who participated in that crime. So the number differs a lot, and the 200 he said was very, very